Hello and welcome to Navigating the Chapters of Challenge with Tele. This afternoon I've got Temi in the house with us, and I'm just going to ask Temi to introduce himself briefly, and then we'll get on to what we're going to be talking about today. So Temi, say hello and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Temi. I'm the admin of the Instagram page. I'm also Tele's son, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's my son. And yes, so today I just thought it would be nice to hear from the young ones, the younger ones, and to hear their perspective about a lot of things that sometimes we may not talk about. And today we're going to be talking about growing up Christian in a wider world and remaining Christian in a wider world. And we're just going to explore that. And we hope the Holy Spirit will just direct us and take this where He wants it to go. So, my first question. As a young adult navigating the complexities of this world today, how do you think that has affected you? I mean, your Christian life, how has it affected you? So when you went to university, you've moved from home, you've gone into university. How has that, your Christian life, how has it been impacted?
I think the time where it started to impact me a lot would have been secondary school.
Okay.
Because, I mean, you sent me to a Catholic school, which even though we're Pentecostals, still the Christian
Catholic
aspect.
primary school.
Yeah. Like, that still flows through. You still get the message of God every day.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, then you move to a grammar school that has everyone.
Yeah.
And it's not just Christians. You've got atheists, you've got Hindus, you've got Islamic people, you've got literally every kind of person you can have is all there.
Okay.
It kind of changes your view a lot. I guess it broadens your view of the world because you're meeting all kinds of people.
Okay.
And you're getting very different friends.
Okay.
And I think for me, my perspective changed a lot when I made a lot of my first friends.
Okay.
But they're still my friends now.
Okay.
But I mean, you've met them. They're not, they aren't Christian.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
But I think because they were my closest friends, and they still are very close friends of mine, my viewpoint was very, very different.
Okay.
Because at some points I found myself compromising on things I wasn't entirely sure I wanted to compromise on.
Okay.
Just to make them happy. Which I felt that's a bit unfair. But, sometimes you make compromises in friendships, but you don't necessarily have to in that case. Yeah. And I think, especially in school, the pressure to be like everyone else is very, very, very big. Especially like your friend.
Yes. So peer pressure, there's a lot of peer pressure. So you said this actually probably started from secondary school. So, but do you think it was amplified when you went out into university, or do you think it was more or less the same kind of thing, kind of situation?
In different ways. Okay. I would say the shift was stronger in secondary school. Okay. But the reason, or at least for me, the reason it could hit you more in university is because the difference in where you are. Okay. For example, because of, I go to uni far away from here. Yeah. So I've gone from Swanley to Leicester. Yeah. And Swanley's a very quiet place, whereas Leicester, whilst it's small, it's quite bubbly. Okay. I'm in a city uni. There's nightlife. Yeah, and I haven't seen this before. Yeah, I didn't drink. Yeah, I didn't do any of these things, and now I'm in a situation where I'm in this place where people in my flat drink, people in my flat smoke. Yeah, and not only have I not done any of this, I'm in a situation where I'll say it, you're not watching me. Yeah. So I'm thinking,
here's my opportunity
what
to
can
try
I do?
This thing.
Yeah. And that's,
that's the reality of it.
It is the reality because you are in the situation where you can do whatever you want. So especially at the start, you will feel like, okay, I can do whatever I want. Yeah. And I think I did fall into that a little bit. Okay. I definitely say that at the start of the year. I wouldn't say, before we freak you out, I didn't get into anything like...
I refuse to get freaked out. So let's be honest. This is an honest conversation. This is how we want it to be. Let's all be honest. So just say it as it is.
Yeah, okay. Well, I did drink quite a bit.
Okay.
I'll be honest. Okay. Don't worry, that's slowed down.
Okay.
It's very much like I'm not much of a party person, but like I would dance and everything like that, but I'm not too really into that kind of thing. But at the start of it, because I'm new to it, I did it quite a lot.
Okay.
I also went into a bit of I got a girlfriend in first year. Unfortunately, I didn't last because of a lot of issues. Yeah. But that is also something I wanted to bring up because that girlfriend was Christian.
Okay.
And I thought in that situation that would actually help me.
Okay.
Because it was one of the few people in my building who was
Christian.
Yeah. Okay. I really thought in that situation, having another Christian near me, it would really help. Yeah. And I was in this phase where I really wanted to go ahead on my own life. And so getting a girlfriend was a really big thing to me. Having someone who liked me is a really big thing to me. Yeah. But unfortunately, that didn't go the way I wanted. Okay. And she did pressure me into quite a few things. Okay. Like I believe I ended up having sex a lot earlier than I wanted to. Yeah. Because I did want to wait on that front. Yeah. And I did wrestle with that for quite a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for being honest there. And this is what a lot of young people have to face. They've been told, don't get into, oh God, I've got a bit of a frog in my throat at the moment, excuse me. Oh dear. Please bear with me just 1 second.
You okay?
Yeah. Sorry about that. It's a bit of frog in my throat at the moment. I don't know why. I'm just going to take a sip of water, so please bear with me. Okay. We should be good to go now. So, yeah, as I was saying, a lot of young Christian people go into university and find themselves in these situations. And they find that they compromise. And would you say it's because they were not taught the message hard enough or well enough? Or is it that the message didn't get into into the mindset properly? Or why? Why would there be? Because you've been hearing the message from when you were a child. Mm. No drinking, no sex before marriage, all of those things. Mm. How come when you get into university, I understand peer pressure, but I would have thought that because it's something that you've been hearing all through, that people would have been stronger. So what do you think is the reason why?
I actually think you've gone a little bit in of a different direction. I would honestly argue that there could be some people who have believed it's been hammered into them a bit too much. Because one thing about humans, especially my generation, we hate being told what to do.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think with some Christians, they kind of fall into this trap where it doesn't feel like they're being taught. It feels like they're being lectured.
They're being told what to do.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't like that. Okay. So when you get into an experience where you're on your own, you want to do the opposite. You want to experience these things because you felt like you absolutely couldn't before. Yeah. And a lot of people starting like, oh, okay, maybe this one time. Okay. And then it unravels into something else. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So it's more, again, the peer pressure, really. It's more about wanting, like you said, you wanted to be liked by people. You wanted to have a girlfriend. I guess all your friends had girlfriends. Oh, so. No, actually.
Oh, really?
No. So it was, the girlfriend thing was an issue in myself. Okay. I will admit that was a self-esteem issue. Okay. So having someone who liked me, who found me attractive, that was something that to me was kind of relatively new. Okay. So I was very happy to have that. Okay. But I wasn't paying attention to who she was. Okay. Which was a big issue. Okay. And then when the true colors came out, after the relationship, I'm very lucky I had a very good set of friends. Okay. Otherwise, I could have been in very big trouble. Okay. Okay. So, but you said she was Christian. So, and how did you know she was Christian? Was it because she said she was Christian?
Because everybody can say they're Christian. So how did you actually know that she was Christian? Did she go to church?
We had prayed together. We had watched a few services together beforehand.
Okay.
So I was under the impression that I still believe it. I still believe it is. I think that's another thing in that I believe when I was growing up, I kind of tended to have this, not facade, but sort of like a viewpoint of my peer Christians that they could do, they could almost do no wrong.
Okay.
And I think that put a lot of pressure on me to then be quite like scared of doing something.
Okay.
But then the way the human brain works, that can then reverse to then I'm scared of doing something. Or forget this, I'm just gonna do it.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I'm a bit stumped by some of the things you're saying because I'm thinking you're scared of doing something and yet you're just gonna do it. Yeah. How does that explain that to me?
Our brain is so weird.
Okay.
Our brain is designed so in such a complex way.
Yeah.
That your emotions can change like that, and you don't even know they're changing like that.
Okay. So your emotions were changing. So would you say that at that age, maybe because you're growing, so you're not quite sure of what your emotions really are. So it's trying to kind of more like finding yourself, trying to discover who you are. Is that what you say was going on there?
Yes. Yeah. It was a personal thing that I had taken to a broader level and involving people that I didn't need to.
That you didn't need to involve in your life. So when that relationship ended, how did it affect you?
It was quite tough because there was a lot of accusations on one side of things that I know I did not do.
Okay.
And again, I'm very lucky. I had a very good set of friends who knew I would never do those sort of things.
Okay.
So that was the main point. But I did fall into a little bit of a rut.
Okay.
Because,
what do you mean by that?
Well, when this happened, I was so upset. I didn't really leave my room.
Okay.
I fell into this situation where I wouldn't leave my room to not even do uni work.
Really?
Yeah.
Now you're telling me this.
Huh?
Confession time. Go on.
Yeah, I struggled to do uni work. I struggled to really get out of bed, to really do anything other than leave my room to go and eat.
Okay.
And even then, I had a mini fridge in my room, so it wouldn't even be that often. And I gained quite a lot of weight, which is something I'd been sensitive of quite a lot.
Yeah.
I did ignore my Bible for quite a bit of time.
Okay.
Just because I felt ashamed.
Okay.
I did feel very ashamed of where I was.
Okay.
Because I felt like this really wasn't where I'm meant to be, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse.
Okay. And did you seek help anywhere? Did you speak to anybody?
Not by choice.
Okay.
It wasn't like I wasn't looking for help.
Okay.
But I mean, Tommy basically dragged it out of me.
Okay.
Tommy is my sister.
Okay.
If you guys didn't know. But yeah, it was very tough talking to her about those things.
Okay.
And then she just kept reminding me to pray.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling her that's the one thing that I haven't been doing. It's like you need to keep praying.
Yeah.
But I've been scared to pray.
Why were you scared to pray?
Because I felt at the time I felt ashamed of everything.
Okay.
I just felt ashamed of myself, and I felt like
you disappointed God.
Yeah.
Okay.
It felt as much as I know God is all loving, it felt like I didn't deserve that.
Okay. You didn't deserve his love at that point. Okay. So what did Tommy say that made you start thinking about it again? I mean, start thinking about God's love again?
It was less of what she said and more of what she did.
Okay. What did she do?
Well, I took her advice and tried to pray.
Okay.
For a few weeks. It was kind of working. I was just kind of getting into my stride of things. Okay. And then when I come back from uni for the summer break.
Yeah.
She invited me to her church.
Okay.
And because it was a talk about, it wasn't a typical service. It was I'm not sure what it was. Okay. I don't really know how to describe it. But they had a speaker there.
Okay.
Called, actually, I won't say his name.
Okay.
But he's one of the leading faces of the church.
Okay.
But he's gay.
Okay.
And if I'm being honest, I had struggles with my identity and everything at the time.
Okay.
Because just my brain's very...
Yeah.
And he was talking about his whole experience.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what it was he said exactly. He was talking about how he was in a Christian camp.
Yeah.
And he was trying to beat that out of it himself.
Okay.
At one point, he just cried and confessed to God.
Yeah.
And he said, God told him, I know who you are. I know who you are. I just need you to pick up your cross and follow me.
Yeah.
That has stuck in my head.
Okay.
The entire time.
Okay.
Because it finally hit me that my relationship with God is a personal one.
Yeah.
And I've been neglecting that.
Yeah.
I've been neglecting a God that is all loving.
Okay.
And I think that really hit me because I was thinking, what am I doing being ashamed? Like, what am I doing being ashamed where all God wants is for me to love him and for me to follow him?
Yeah. Yeah.
I had forgotten that being a Christian was my identity. That is forever going to be a part of me. It's who I am and I love it. It reminded me of so many things that I had said. For example, we go back to secondary school.
Yeah.
Someone had asked me, if you found out one day that, like, say for example, if you found out one day God wasn't real and everything was wrong, would you regret it? And I said no. I simply said no for the fact that I love God too much. I love being a Christian too much. It was then I was remembering loving God is part of who I am. It will forever be a part of who I am. And on that day, hearing all of that, as the pick up your cross and follow me, I just cried.
Yeah.
I just cried because it felt like I had missed something so basic that I had ages ago. And that's, I think you can tell I have quite a connection with that church. Yeah. Because I like to keep going back.
Yeah.
But it's...
So that was a pivotal moment because you realized that there was no point in being ashamed. God knows who we are, really. None of us is perfect. There's nobody on the face of this earth that's perfect, but he expects us to just come to him just as we are, you know. And I think that must have been really, really, really useful for you, like you've said. So how do you cope in this world where atheism is growing, especially amongst your generation? It seems like, well, I don't know how to put this properly, but for somehow it looks like atheism seems to be growing. A lot of people are not going to church. A lot of people your age are not going to church or don't want to hear about God. So how do you deal with that? How do you remain who you know you're meant to be?
Well, I thought about how I would have liked to be approached by it. Me personally, just because I'm a bit of a shy person, I'm not the biggest fan of evangelism. Okay. That's simply because on the street, I'm trying to get somewhere. Someone comes up and talks to me about something in my head I already know, or for someone else, something I'm not thinking about right now. I just need to get somewhere. Yeah. It feels like,
oh, please leave me alone.
Please, I'm trying to go. Do you know? Yeah. Yeah. So I thought about how I would approach it. Okay. And I really thought about the approach is so different these days. Yeah. I really thought about what Tommy did for me. It was just an invite. An open invite. Yeah. Didn't pressure me to go. Didn't say, oh, you must be saved. You must do this. You must do that. It was just a simple invite. And I went on a whim. And it completely saved me. Completely changed me. I think it's a lot harder in my generation to stay a Christian because of new ideas that are always coming into the world. It's like how I said the other day, your generation, I would say, didn't question much.
Yeah.
Whereas we're taught to question everything.
Everything, yes.
That's why atheism will be growing. They wouldn't want to conform to just one idea.
Yeah.
And I really think that is, I don't know how to put it, but I think that's a very big part to it.
Okay.
So, to me, I would just, I guess, try and be a bit less harsh.
Harsh? So you think we're harsh?
I don't know. It's so weird because I don't think you guys personally were harsh.
Yeah.
I think I definitely took it to be harsh because with my conception that the Christians must do this, they can do no wrong, I got scared when I would do wrong.
Okay.
And that would put me against it because now I'm now scared to face God.
Okay.
And some people, when they're scared of something, they just ignore it.
They just ignore it. Or they run away. Yeah.
They run away. And eventually they could run away so much, they'll just believe it's actually just not real.
Because it's just like a coping mechanism, kind of, a way of coping with it.
Yeah.
Okay. But you said something that you were thinking about how you would have loved to be approached. So how, apart from being harsh, how else would you have loved to be approached? How do you think, where do you think we have gone wrong, and where do you think we can improve?
I would say it needs to be more of a conversation.
Okay. Well, more of a conversation in what way?
I think first, with this conversation, you should try and understand the other person.
Okay.
It's the other person's perspective on why they don't
believe.
Yeah. Why they don't believe what's happened in their life. Because people that have suffered and don't believe, they don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear that there's
a loving God out there when they are suffering.
They've suffered. They don't believe it. In their eyes, they can't see it.
So they can't see this loving God that you're telling them about at all.
No.
So how do you make them see this loving God? Because you said, okay, have a conversation with them. Would you think that being friends with them would make that happen? But then there's a caveat to that again, because there's also, you need to be careful when you're being friends with them, how far you go. Yeah. So what's your take on that?
It's the issue is I can't give you a direct answer because it's different for
everybody. Yeah.
Like I said, your relationship with God is your relationship with God. Yeah. So I couldn't give you an answer that would be correct for everyone.
Everybody, yeah.
Simply because of that reason.
Yes.
So I honestly don't know, but the key to a communication is understanding.
Yeah.
So I think we just have to get to that part first before we go into everything. So maybe being friends is the right choice.
Okay. Yeah, but how in depth can that friendship go? Because you have to be careful as well.
That's true.
So that you are not swayed onto the other side.
That's true. You have to be strong in your own beliefs as well.
Beliefs, yeah. You have to be strong.
Although I do think sometimes being in these sort of relationships with people who aren't like you can strengthen your own.
Okay, in what way?
Sorry, 1 moment. I think because it will widen your perspective on how to treat people.
Yeah.
And especially how to treat people with love.
Okay.
Because I remember you dubbed me as a child like the defender.
Always defending people.
Yeah, exactly. And I do want to keep that aspect. Yeah. I want to be open with everyone.
Yeah.
So when I'm friends with someone, I won't be ignorant to things that happen.
Yeah.
But I will do my best to understand why they are like this.
Yeah.
And then let us have our own deep conversations.
Okay.
So that we can talk and we can be friends and I can see the goodness in them.
Okay.
Because that, as much as the bad things happen,
yeah,
the goodness will always come from somewhere.
Yeah.
It just really got me to believe in the importance of souls.
Okay.
God gave everyone a soul.
Yeah.
And every soul is beautiful in its own way.
Yes, yes.
So I think meeting more people helped me strengthen my belief.
Okay.
Because it just got me to see more. It got me to understand more people. It got me to see everyone's own beauty. And remember that God designed all of this.
All of that. Okay. Wow. I never looked at it from that perspective, but that's a very beautiful way to see it. That once you appreciate that everybody has got a beautiful soul. You know, nobody's going to be completely bad or 100% good, but everybody's got a beautiful soul that you can approach that person from that perspective. Then there's a bit of, we can show love to people that way. Yeah. So I just want to ask, have you come across a situation where you're talking to your friends about your beliefs and they've made fun of you and they've ridiculed you?
Oh,
can you give me an example?
There's definitely been moments.
Okay.
I would say doesn't happen in university simply because everyone's grown up.
Okay.
Everyone's grown up to the point where they're your friend. You'll respect their beliefs, even if it does sound interesting to you. But in secondary school, especially in RE, like for example, the atheist kids who don't want to do that subject because it doesn't interest them.
Yeah.
They would definitely be the ones that would say quite a lot of things.
Yeah.
Specific examples, I don't really know, because the most I would remember are things off of the internet, like jokes on the internet.
Okay, on the internet, but none that has happened.
Very rarely in person or directly towards me.
Okay. So no specific examples. But what challenges have you had? Any challenges in wanting to share your faith with people? So apart from the fact that many people in your generation or your group are not into church or believing or into Christianity more than anything else, what other challenges have you had in terms of sharing your faith?
The challenge was me, really.
Okay. Can you expand on that?
Like I said, I'm a very shy person. And I know I didn't used to be.
You never used to be shy, so I don't know where the shyness came from.
I know.
And you don't sound like somebody who's shy.
I know, I understand. Like I said, it was a lot of self-esteem issues. And I am working on it.
Okay.
Because I don't think a few years ago I'd be able to do something like this. Even with
you wouldn't have come on the show.
I'd be terrified.
Yeah.
But it is just in me, because I did believe, but I was scared to show that I believe out of fear that people wouldn't like the fact that I believe.
Okay.
Because in this day and age, being a Christian is controversial.
Yeah.
Like no matter how you look at it, because there will be people that believe simply because you're Christian, some people believe you're sexist, you're homophobic, you're racist. Because unfortunately, people throughout the years have tied some aspects towards that.
Yes.
Which is a problem.
Yeah.
So I think that did scare me quite a bit, alongside just my own self-esteem issues, saying, that's another one. I would never consider myself a lukewarm Christian. Okay. But because of my own belief of Christians can do no wrong. Yeah. Back then, because I didn't know Bible scriptures word for word, I'd be thinking, do people think I know what I'm saying?
So you didn't want to say anything?
Yeah, because I feel if I just get something wrong, like this guy's just talking.
Okay, he just doesn't really know what he's talking about. Okay, but shouldn't that have driven you more into knowing your Bible and getting into the Bible?
Yeah, I guess so. And I did try, but even then, if something hasn't been retained, it then it bundles back again and again.
Okay.
And it also doesn't help that I was learning RE at the time.
Okay.
Because I'll be honest, the way they teach it is not interesting in the slightest.
Okay.
It's basically history.
Yeah.
And people who'd find that interesting may find that interesting.
Yeah.
But me personally, not a fan.
Okay.
It doesn't teach you how they think. It just teaches you a paragraph.
Okay.
And then what that paragraph could mean.
Okay. A paragraph from where?
So it could, from whatever you're studying. For me, with Christianity, they specifically try to leave it broad, but it doesn't work.
Okay.
They basically give you a Bible scripture, and then you've got to decipher it like English.
Oh, like you would... Is it kind of like summarize it or pull it apart? More like...
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think the Bible works that way.
No.
I think everything has its own message.
Yeah.
But again, a more personal message, which is
Yeah.
why I did kind of struggle with RE. And I thought I really shouldn't be.
Okay, because being a Christian, you thought all your life should have been easy.
And the test was what? So we had 3 RE tests. The first one for GCSE was you pick. So you pick what you do.
Yeah.
The second one, and that was 50%. The second one was 25% Christianity.
Yeah.
And the third one was Judaism, 25%.
Okay.
So in essence, mine could have been 75% Christianity and 25% Judaism.
Yeah.
And yet the Judaism part was the easiest part for me.
Which is weird.
It felt so weird, but it's because the way they teach RS, it doesn't apply to my view of Christianity.
Okay.
Which is why I struggled so much.
Okay. So you struggled in the past, but now you're getting better?
Yes.
So after you went to Temi's church, like you told us before, and you cried and you broke down, what other steps did you take to help yourself? What did you do? What else did you do? Practical things that you did?
Stop comparing myself.
Perfect.
That was the best example. Again, to bring up Imprint again, it was on Tommy's leaving, I think. She invited me to her. So they have this thing called teams.
Okay.
Where they have groups that go together every Wednesday, and they pick a verse and study it and do their own sort of things.
Okay.
And
their own interpretation of the verse, yeah?
Yeah. So it's sort of just like Bible study.
Yeah.
But they kind of make it more fun.
Yeah.
And I'm in this part with people that are all Tommy's friends, but I've met like one of them.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, I'm not gonna do well. I'm just gonna be scared. I'm just gonna talk in the corner. But they were so welcoming.
Yeah.
And I ended up saying things I didn't even know I knew.
Okay. So there were probably things that were already in you.
Yeah. And I know they did this one thing. I forgot what the game is. But essentially, you find an item.
Yeah.
And whatever that item was, you've got to think of a Bible verse around it.
Wow.
And again, me in this time, I'm still shy. I don't know these people. I'm like,
How am I gonna do
what
this?
do I do? And Tommy's friend gave me a banana. And I'm not sure what to do, even though I know in my head exactly what I want to say. The fruits of the Spirit.
Okay.
And I just wasn't saying it.
Okay.
And they're just like, bro, talk. Just say something. And I was like, okay, I'll say it. And they all cheered and clapped and everything, even though it was short.
Yeah.
But I said exactly what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
And at that moment, I realized we're all looking at the same Bible.
Yeah.
We interpret it the way we want to make our relationship personal.
Yeah.
So then it doesn't matter what people think of you.
Yeah.
As long as they know you're Christian.
Yeah. And we interpret it based on the help of the Holy Spirit as well, because the Holy Spirit, because you and I might read the same scripture and the Holy Spirit might interpret it to you in a different way from the way that it would be interpreted to me. Or is it interpreted?
It doesn't matter.
You know what I'm trying to say anyway.
Yeah.
We get different understandings of it and sometimes it could be based on where we are, our situation at that time. So that was really helpful for you, yeah?
Yes.
The fact that, so you didn't feel like they were judging you or anything.
No, I didn't feel that way at all. I felt welcomed and loved.
Yeah.
And so I realized a lot on that day. I didn't compare myself to anyone there.
Okay.
Because they all had their own lessons that they shared, that what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
For example, someone said they want to recognize things about their relationships, or something I'd said before.
Yeah.
And they said so many things. So when they asked me what I wanted to do going forward, that was the first thing I said, is stop comparing myself, because I learned that today. But I also wanted to slow myself down.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
It's in the way of stop comparing yourself.
Yeah.
I need to take my reading and understanding of the Bible at my own pace.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I need to stop rushing into things before I know them.
Yeah.
Because that with the relationship one, I was thinking, because me, I'm a family person.
Yeah.
I do want to find someone to love. I want to eventually have a wife. I want to eventually have children.
Yeah, by God's grace.
Yeah.
That will happen.
And that can be in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Why am I looking now? Why am I stressing myself out?
Right. Perfect. Okay, good. Oh my God, I'm glad you got that.
Yeah, it's my life.
Yeah.
It's my life that God has planned out for me.
Yeah.
So why am I stressing about these things?
No, yeah.
If I believe and put the work in, it's going to fall into my lap. I'm going to run into it. So I need to stop. Yeah. So I need to stop jumping into it. I need to calm down.
Yeah.
And just believe in God and believe in myself more.
Yeah. So when you said stop jumping into things, something came to my mind. But what if all your friends are in relationships and they're all doing all these things? Does that not make you feel like, maybe I'm missing out?
No, because they'll complain to me.
Okay. They'll complain to you.
Okay. No, I've had that before anyway.
Yeah.
But it's no longer a thing I focus on.
Okay.
To be in one, because when I'd rather be in a good one than be in one for the sake of being in one.
Yeah.
I think, for example, I want to ask you a question.
Okay, oh my God. I hope I can answer the question.
So, obviously, you're in a very happy relationship, or
by the grace of God.
So, how do you view things such as Valentine's Day?
How do I view things such as Valentine's Day? Okay. Valentine's Day for me is just a day like any other day. I see nothing wrong with people picking a day to focus on celebrating love. So for me, there's nothing wrong with Valentine's Day. If you want to take a day to celebrate the people that you love, celebrate your spouse, celebrate your children, it doesn't necessarily have to be just boyfriend-girlfriend relationship or husband-wife relationship. That's my view. Valentine's Day is about love. So why not use it if we've decided, or the world has decided, okay, we've chosen a day to celebrate it, why not? I see nothing wrong with it, and I believe that it's a good thing, because then it makes people feel happy. For instance, this week, coincidentally, was Valentine's Day. There was Valentine's Day this week, and I went to work with a box of chocolates, and I shared it out to everybody in the office, and it put a smile on people's faces. They were so happy. It was like, oh, wow. Some guys said to me, but I don't have anybody. And I said, yeah, it doesn't matter. But you're loved, and that message so I think that if there's a day chosen to celebrate love, there's nothing wrong with it. And if you want to do that, yeah, fine. Go ahead and celebrate love and make everybody around you feel good about themselves, because there are people out there who are lonely. And if they may not be in a relationship, but if you can just give them for instance, again, in our office, I heard that one of the guys in the other office, bought red roses for all the ladies in the office. That's such a nice gesture, because they felt loved. They may not have a significant order in their life, but it made them feel loved. And that's what I think it's all about. So that's my, Why did you ask that question?
It's all about love for you.
It's all about love for me. Okay. Why did you ask that question?
One, because it was Valentine's Day this week.
Okay.
So I was just thinking that would be a way to just talk about it.
Yeah.
But I kind of wanted to get that view as another thing for the generational aspect.
Okay, yeah, go on.
Because Valentine's Day for us is so commercialized.
Yes.
You will see it everywhere. Everyone will just post happy Valentine's with this person, with that person, with that person.
Yeah.
And it used to tend to get me down quite a bit until really this year. Yeah. Because if I think back, there's only ever been 1 year when I've been with someone during Valentine's Day.
Okay.
Yeah, only one. And even then, I spent it with my friend. I didn't spend it with her.
Okay.
I spent it with my friend, and I think I genuinely had more fun.
Okay.
Because I was with...
There was no pressure.
Yeah, there was no pressure. We just went and watched a movie.
Yeah.
And just had a really good time.
Yeah.
And I think I'd prefer... For me, I'd prefer to... Not that I didn't love this person beforehand, but just... I really enjoy company.
Yeah.
So I think having good company that I love would be the best Valentine's Day for me, regardless of who it is. So I do agree with you on that. Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's just about sharing love, really, with the people that you love. That's basically what it is. That's how I see it. Wow, look at the time. I don't know where the time goes, and the coughing fit I had at the beginning somewhere. I don't know if it's based on what you were saying. I don't know.
Oh, gosh.
I don't think so. Obviously not, because we've had this discussion at home before anyway, so that's fine. What else did I want to ask you? Yes, viewpoints. So this is something that I think that we need to talk about. It always seems as if we parents seem to come across so, like you said earlier, harsh, heavy-handed. But I think it's also down to viewpoints. So we seem to have a different viewpoint from you guys. And how do you deal with that? How do you handle that?
For me, it's remembering that at the end of the day, you want the best for us.
Okay.
Because I think sometimes it feels like it's not your fault by any means, but sometimes it does feel like there's a lot of pressure.
Okay.
And just because we don't want to disappoint you.
Okay.
And I think that is why I think there's so many clashes, because we would try to make sure we don't disappoint you, that we end up doing the opposite because we've tried too hard, and we stumble.
Okay.
And sometimes when you stumble, it's scary to ask for help.
Okay.
And I think because, again, this generation doesn't really encourage help.
Okay, asking for help.
It doesn't encourage it. It encourages it in a sense of go to therapy.
That's what I was just going to say. They always talk about therapy.
Again, I'm okay with that, but that's the only help they really tend to talk about these days. Okay.
That's a very important point you're making. Yeah,
so it's sort of like, if you need help, go to a professional. As much as that's fine, what about go to your parents? Yeah. What about go to your friends?
Your family.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a very, very valid point you've made, and it's really important to note that people should be encouraged to go to those they love as well. Mm-hmm. Get the professional help, but at the same time get the help of people who know you and who are there for you, really. So you feel like, do you feel like our generation has encouraged you guys to come to us as well for help? Do you think it's something that we could work on, or how do you see that?
Again, it's a complex, because for me, there's sort of a clash with like, I think you definitely tried to say we can. Yeah. But sometimes we don't feel like we can.
Why?
Just because it's kind of, I don't know how to put it. It's kind of scary. Again, it's kind of scary asking for help, especially when you know you've done something you shouldn't have done. Okay. I think, again, it's more to do with having the conversations again to understand the other person.
So having the conversations as in when, how?
Whenever. It's just a simple, I know it's easier said than done, but it is just a simple what's up.
Yeah, but sometimes we ask what's up and you say nothing.
Don't say anything.
You don't say anything.
Exactly.
You stay in your rooms and you don't say anything. So
it's hard. Mum, honestly, there was a point in time in like year 10, I'd write letters to Tommy.
Okay.
Just about anything that's happened.
Yeah.
And this is before, like, I'd never say we didn't like each other, but we weren't that close.
Yeah.
We had gotten so much closer over the years that she had gone to uni.
Yeah.
And I started just reaching out.
Yeah.
And then she talked to me, and we talked more and more. and we now understand a lot more about each other.
Yeah. I think you were not close because of the age gap also.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's changed now, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're both adults now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So it was easier for you to reach out to Tommy than to reach out to us. Is that what you're saying?
It's just because it was. I felt like you wouldn't completely understand my viewpoint. It's weird because I felt you sometimes feel like, you know, when the stereotypical thing is like, oh, when I was your age, this and this happened.
Okay.
No, we did things this way.
Right, okay.
It's sometimes like, we get your point, but it feels sometimes when you say that, it feels like we're living in two completely different worlds.
Okay.
Because Tommy is not that far from my world, I felt like I could speak to her about these things.
About those things. Okay. So it was easier for you to reach out to her than to reach out to us. What could we as parents do to help, to bridge the gap? Because I feel like there's some gaps.
It's such a tough question.
Yeah.
It's such a tough question because, again, it's different for everyone.
Yeah.
I think, again, more open conversations.
Okay.
Just to, like, let everyone get their own sort of feelings out. Like, more family time for me.
Okay.
I'd like more time where, I know it's a lot harder now.
Yeah.
Because we're both away, Tommy's moved out. But more time together, but also more time on our own after that. Okay. So, like, say, for example, if we've had a whole day together, give us, like, a few hours alone to unwind with our thoughts before we come back.
Okay.
So we're not completely overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Okay. And then don't always have the day focused on, we're going to do this together, we're going to do this together, we're going to do this together. Okay. Then it feels forced again.
Okay.
The whole point is that have these open conversations so it feels natural.
Yeah. Okay. We've run out of time, but I'm going to have you back again soon.
Okay.
Probably have you on with Tommy and some other young people, and we could talk about all of these issues in more depth as well. But it's been a really, really interesting conversation, apart from my coughing fit. It's been a really, really interesting conversation, which I think we would revisit again sometime soon. But thank you so much. Before I let you go, what would you say to the people out there? Just a word of hope to people who may be struggling with their young people like you, struggling with their Christian faith and the wider world that we're living in. What would you say?
Acknowledge who you are.
Yeah.
Acknowledge who you are. Acknowledge everything that's going on in your life. Acknowledge everything you're feeling, everything you want to say, everything you want to do.
Yeah.
And just tell God what it is.
Yeah.
Because He will answer you. And just say, follow me.
Yeah.
He'll say, follow me, you'll clear your head.
Wow. Just talk to God about it, everything, whatever it is. Thank you so much, Temi. Really, really appreciate your time. I'm happy we had this opportunity to have this conversation. It was kind of like an impromptu thing, but it's worked out so well. It's really, really, really been a good conversation. And I hope that people out there have been blessed by this conversation. And I'm going to have you back again soon, but thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all so much for listening in. It's been an interesting conversation with my son. I heard some things I didn't hear before. Some confessions were made here. But it's been good. It's been really good, yeah. Thank you so much. And hopefully you'll listen to us again sometime soon. Take care and God bless. Bye-bye. Thank you.